Hello and welcome to Two Dudes Discuss Gaming. Catchy title. I'm Shane.
And I'm Perry.
And we would like to apologize for not bringing you news this week. It was utter bullcrap, so we didn't feel that you should be subjected to it.
Ooh, bad.
So I know I'm not wearing a suit today, however, I am getting my Mass Effect on.
I see what you did there.
So today what we're going to do is take you back through the World of Warcraft, from the launch of Classic all the way to Mists of Pandaria.
And with speculation on Beyond.
Speculation. We'll call it that.
Yep.
So with that said, let's get to it.
Alright.
Stop recording that. We'll just use that separately, just in case. Neither one of us really got to play much in Classic. I mean, I started like the day before BC came out. And you didn't know what WoW was in Classic?
I knew of it. I think I saw a trailer once on TV. But I know a lot of what Classic was like from, people telling me in various places I read. And a lot of people enjoyed the mystery of the game back then. That was what they enjoyed. Finding the hidden quests or the unique references.
There was also a lot of exploration. That was something that drew a lot of people. I know Yahtzee liked WoW because he was constantly exploring and finding new things. And the flight pass made the world seem open.
Ah, flight paths. Boy, how times have changed.
Personally, I hated flight paths. They were always slow. Faster than running, but still slow compared to my own flying mode.
That is true.
It's also probably the first time a MMO was really accessible. Because back in Star Wars Galaxies and EverQuest, you never really had clearly defined quests. And in EverQuest, according to Chisel, when you had to do a quest, you had to go through the dialogue, and then select the right words, and then say that back to them, and they form a question.
Wow. And also, most of EverQuest 1 was grinding.
Yeah, same with Star Wars Galaxies. It was mostly grinding. There weren't a lot of quests, and those that did exist, good luck finding them. Of course, part of that was because the planets were freaking huge, because it was a sandbox game. You could build your own player cities, but that came with the expense of actual direction. Which you had in WoW. You had the quest, and every time you completed a quest, it was done. You could spend like 50 minutes, complete a quest, and boom, you accomplished something. You got the little dingy sound, the reward, sometimes you got money, you won items, sometimes both. You got experience. And then you hit level 60.
And then the game started, where if you...
Although for a while it kind of ended, because there wasn't much to do.
There was Molten Core.
Molten Core didn't come out at launch.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Same with PvP, there weren't structured battlegrounds, so it was world PvP, but they still have the rankings.
And they had dishonorable points. You killed a low-level person, you got a dishonor point, which you lose honor for. You'd actually go into the negatives of dishonor. That was quickly removed.
I remember talking to a guy who used to play Classic when I worked at Target, and he used to talk about having to do the grinds, the Grand Marshal grind, at where Molten Core is, that area.
Black Rock Spire.
That's the one. The Black Rock Mountain. That's Summoning Stone. Of course, there was a time when there weren't Summoning Stones.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Flight Pass. TV Informer solved that one day when you used to have to try and get 4 people there separately.
Oh gosh. And probably the worst part of the whole level 6 experience is for every 1 hour of reading you want to do, it'd be almost 3 hours worth of grinding. You had to go grind out your food, and grind up, make sure you had all your resistance gear for whatever fight.
Technical difficulties, our trailer is not blame. Maybe. There we go. So speaking of raids and natural mobs, which is the trailer in the background, I think another problem was that there just wasn't a way to engage 40 people. That was something they talked about. One of the devs said a while back that they had problems just getting 40 people to be constantly busy and keep it challenging.
And a lot of, it was really hard to get in raiding. When you raid, okay, you have to go start doing your dire mall runs, start to pick pugs, and make sure you do your was it the lower Black Rock Spire and upper Black Rock Spire pugs, which would take hours to get together. And when PvP came out and PvP gear, people
PvP gear actually was some of the best stuff for raiding.
people would actually PvP to PvE.
You also had the problem with the loot. It was really restrictive, so pretty much every warrior was a tank because you couldn't really get anything else. In terms of gear, you could get bits and pieces, but all the sets were for one spec.
Yeah, that's how everything was. You're a warrior, you're a tank. Priest, healer, shaman, healer, mage, DPS, paladin.
Healer.
Ha!
Although sometimes you could tank, depending on your guild, they were nice.
Yeah, paladin tanking was the best AoE tanking, but you had to have the right kind of gear.
I think another problem was, like, with natural mobs, which is still in the background, was that when they got challenging, they were punishing. I think less than 1% of all players actually killed Kel'Thuzad
Yeah,
in the original Max 40.
it was the least visited raid of all times.
And they had those fights like the twins before
Thaddeus?
before Cthulhu. You had the
Oh,
twin
yeah.
emperors, and the trash there was the hardest part of that fight, trying to get to him.
Oh yeah, that fight was just annoyingly stupid. Especially when you're trying to, solo it yourself nowadays. It was a pain in the ass.
And then you had that rep grind. The Bruno knows Dormu.
Oh god. You started out as hated.
Yeah.
Ain't there weren't any mobs for that faction other than the one quest giver.
So pretty much classic.
One thing Classic is always going to be remembered for was the Encourage event. Probably the only time you'll ever see a server-wide event where people have to partake, and it did help build the community. If it wasn't for the Encourage event, the game might not be where it is today with the backing of the community, of people so devoted to it.
Oh, it would be. It would be. But that's a discussion for later when we get to the end.
Yes.